And we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Film Trigger Drive-By News, a movie and entertainment talk production, if you will. My man to my left here, Mr. Ramon from Hit or Miss TV. How you doing, brother?
Hi.
He's just in his own little world over here.
Hi, everyone.
We have the man behind the curtain, Seth Draven, in the box below. He's
kind of
just
like that
joining
nickname.
us.
Kind of like
What's
the
that?
nickname, the man behind the curtain.
That's the guy. That's the guy.
It
I-
came
I used to-
accidentally.
I used to be the man behind the curtain. I got arrested doing that. Just saying. Just saying.
Oh no, my. Can you guys see me at all? Because
yeah, I
my
can see
screen-
you. I saw it freeze for a second, but
it's still
fine.
frozen. It's still frozen on my end.
Oh, I can. It's working fine for
Yes,
me.
I can see you.
I did see it freeze for a second, but it's fine.
Well, I'm going to back out real quick.
All
Talk
right.
amongst yourselves, okay?
All right.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing well on this glorious Sunday. It's only 1 week left until
Oh, no.
Halloween. Seth, what are you doing for Halloween?
I have no idea. I'm pretty sure trick or treat where I am is today, which is
okay.
interesting. I don't know why they usually do it like a week early here, but yeah, I don't think we're really doing anything unless
You're not going to go out and like terrorize the neighborhood.
No, I have nothing to dress up as, which is fine. But
I would be going crazy if I was over there. I really would. Yeah, I'd love to do it. One year, I'm going to have to do that.
Halloween's fun.
Yeah, it's as I said to Stevie. It's over here. It's just not really a thing. So it's a bit frustrating, really. In England, you get like the odd house that does it, but if I go out and dress up, I'll just get arrested. Like, why is this guy
Hey
running
guys,
around?
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have to shut my whole computer down. Everything's frozen. Everything's just completely stopped. I can't do anything. I can't open my task manager. Nothing.
So we're going to cut off for a minute, ladies and gents, and we'll be back with you in a.
You'll still be on.
Oh, this will stay on, yeah.
Yeah, you'll still be on. I'll just leave.
No problemo. We've got this.
All right, I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
No problemo. So yeah, have you caught any films this week, Mr. Seth?
The other day I did see Dune.
You're saying that with like a bit of in your voice.
Don't worry. I didn't dislike it. Excuse me. I did not dislike it. I didn't dislike Dune. So I guess now I'll just give my quick thoughts on Dune because I don't think I will join any spoiler talk that you guys might do. But so I think I need to watch it again because I've never read the book. I've never seen the original movie. So I was going into this completely blind. They threw so much information at you at one time that it was hard for me to process everything that was going on because I was just like, wait, what does what? That's called what? Like, why is this important? Like,
there is a lot. That's why I'll be honest with you. This is why the original didn't do so great, and it's a bit of a mess. Like, I like the original movie, and just basically the original movie where that ended, the one you've just seen ended. That's like the first 45 minutes of the first movie. So could you imagine that whole thing is crammed into like 45 minutes. Then it tells the second half.
I knew it was the first half of the first book.
Yeah. So like
that.
the original is the same length, but in other words, the second and first movie, it's all made into one movie, and it's like the first half of the movie is done quite well in the original. The second half is just so choppy. It's like, like they're trying to fit everything in, and you're kind of like, I've got no idea what's going on. Where this one was, for you, there was a lot. For me, I was watching the new one, and it was like the perfect pacing because it's got so much to put in. Right. But I can understand why there are, fans that will like it. And with a movie like this, I can respect that because it's a lot it's one of them. It's just a lot to take in.
Well, I'm back. I don't know what conversation I missed.
Welcome
but
back. We're
No,
talking about Dune.
yeah,
I
we're
was
just
giving
having
my
a little,
Well, let's save some Dune stuff
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Tuesday. We're doing a spoiler talk.
Yeah,
that's
no,
why I
yeah,
said something real
yeah,
quick.
because
I said I
the
didn't know if I was going to join or not. So
Yeah,
I
I
was
think
like,
what I'll do is like I'm gonna do a video like like we'll do the spoiler talk, but I'm definitely gonna do a video that's a lot more in depth because it's one of those that's like I can't really what do we watch I suppose Marvel. I guess it would be like someone who's never seen Marvel jumping in and watching WandaVision. You wouldn't have a clue what's going on because
Right.
to me that's what June is for a lot of people. Like you'll be watching it and it doesn't make sense.
yeah.
I
But
got a lot of shit for my review.
yeah, but that doesn't surprise me. Like, you know, when
Yeah.
you said about Star Wars,
Yeah.
like Star Wars was 77, the book was 65 or 69. So it's like
Yeah.
I
Not a
don't
clue.
know if think George of Star Wars, I don't know if he got the idea from June. I don't know.
One of the comments in my review said that Lucas was inspired by Dune.
There you go. Because there's
so-
a lot of it when you think the Force and the voice, and it's like, oh, that's
Yeah.
but yeah,
Well,
that's like you say.
But we'll save that for
Yeah, yeah,
Tuesday
yeah,
for
sorry.
our spoiler talk for Dune.
Yeah.
You guys ready to do some news now that
Yeah.
I'm up and running again?
Yep.
I thank you for taking over. But let's start our intro in 3, 2, 1. All righty. Hello, everyone. Aaron
Hi.
White, what's up, my peoples?
Start.
Good to see you,
Oh,
buddy.
I thought it says start up, my people, because I haven't got my
What's
glasses.
up, my people? What's
Yeah,
up,
there
my
you go.
people? All right. We're going to jump right in here. Let's see what news we have to start off with. Oh, yeah. The big one.
Oh, we're jumping right into that. All right.
Yeah, I just wanted to get
Wowza.
it done and out of the way. Let me get the my screen up here. Yeah. Yep. Crew member on the set of Rush shot and killed by prop gun that was fired by Alec Baldwin. Oof! What a fucking tragedy. That sucks. And the thing is, I was reading this an article. It's not the article; it's a different one. But I was reading simply states that there was a whole bunch of problems before. You know, like a lot of the crew just kept complaining that they didn't have any safety classes, that there was a misfire of the guns multiple times, and it just tragically struck the one time. So, yeah, that's feels like should have been prevented because of what happened with the Crow. You guys remember that?
That's the kind. That's obvious. Yeah, that's obviously the first. As soon as I heard the story the other day, that was the first thing that jumped into my mind. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, like it doesn't. As a matter of fact, the Crow, people who run the Facebook, Twitter actually came and said, like, hey, this should not happen, because after the Crow movie happened and Brandon Lee got shot on set, they did a huge like camping of how good they're handled on set, and this movie pretty much ignored all of that. And this is what happens: the cinematographer was shot and killed, and poor Alec Baldwin, I can only imagine what he's going through, because he essentially killed a person, and that's
awful,
terrible. Am I coming through okay?
It's cutting out a little bit lag wise for your voices, but I don't know if that's just...
It's choppy sometimes,
but I don't know why.
For the most part, it's fine.
I don't know why. What
if it gets like really bad, we'll let you know. But like you're frozen right now
with my computer.
You're not frozen anymore. But
yeah, I think it was the site that I had on. Whenever I use that Screen Rant page, it gets like that. That's why I try not to use Screen Rant.
Really?
Sites.
It's probably because you know what it is. Remember when I said to you earlier on about the graphics thing on mine? I think because Screen Rant has tons of videos automatically pop up, and that might be interfering with the graphics card. I think that's what's causing it.
I was gonna say, I think I know what it might be too, because Screen Rant likes to have slides, almost like a slideshow in
Yeah,
like
like
every
and
single
Yeah.
one of their articles. It loads
yeah,
like
and then
7 articles in one.
yeah, when you're scrolling
Okay,
down,
yeah,
you
that
just get
would make
constant.
sense actually.
Yeah,
Well, we're back now, and even if I don't can't bring up the articles, we can still. Still have them
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
bookmarked here, so we can still talk about it.
Yeah.
But just imagine that. I mean, like even the crew on this set walked off set before this accident happened because they said they didn't feel safe. They kept writing letters to the film company saying, "Hey, we don't feel safe. There's no safety courses. There's been 3 misfires of guns. Luckily, no one was hit with those." And the studio said nothing. And then this happens, and now the studio is like, "Oh, this is very serious to us, and we're going to take a look at it and rectify the situation right away." What do you think's going to happen here with this? Like,
Um,
Um,
what do you
After
think?
Seth, because I'm just gonna be like, you know me, I'm just gonna be like abusive towards the studio because it's obvious, you know, it's pretty disgusting, really.
I don't know. I find part of me finds it hard to believe that like with them dealing with this movie or whatever the situation, I find it hard to believe that this movie will actually end up getting made. Like
Oh yeah, I don't see
I
it. I don't see it
yeah, no,
happening.
I don't know how much they made of it, but if it wasn't like very much, if they'd been on set for like a few weeks or something and that was it, then I don't see this getting made at all.
No,
But I don't know. It's a tough situation to talk about, but like I'll
But
say this,
it's
there's
something that needs to be talked about because there's a lot of like this
I agree.
like when the Brandon Lee estate commented and said this shouldn't be happening, they're absolutely right. I mean,
And
you're
it's
number
I
happening
one.
don't
again.
understand. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
understand. Like, yeah, I don't get it. But then I don't work in films, so like, I don't know. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, none of us really know what actually happened on the set. We're getting bits and stuff that's come out, and I've read like the odd thing here and there, but the first thing, like on a basic level, is exactly that. Like, what the how? Like, how?
yeah.
What? So,
Yeah.
what do you film Godzilla? And there's a Godzilla movie, and there's atomic bombs that they drop with atomic bombs at the beginning. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on? Like, I don't understand how it could have even. It just I can't fathom it in my head.
It seems like a problem that shouldn't be happening today. This just. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly. Like
it
in
does.
you know, the flipping 1940s or 50s when it was a new thing, cinema and
Right.
learning and
I mean,
health
do
and
we?
safety. Yeah,
I mean, and with today's technology, do we even need to use blanks in a gun? And can't we just put like a little
that's what I don't
digital
understand.
fire thing? Like
That's what I thought they did, man. That's what I thought they did. I thought they had like prop guns, what sit with silly like flash bang bang, and then I'll put it all on afterwards. That's what I thought they do, but
yeah.
obviously not.
And if I was an actor and I would like if I was Keanu Reeves and I'm starring in John Wick, I would have it in my contract. Absolutely no real guns. Like I want
Hell,
all rubber guns.
you're damn
Like
right.
there's no way I would work around that. And I feel very bad for Alec Baldwin here because I mean,
Yes.
the cinematographer that he killed was a friend. Like, he's worked with
Mm.
her before. He knows the family, and now he is in a situation where he's trying to console the family while also absorbing the
I
fact that he
I
murdered
do
his friend.
I do and I don't because again, it depends on the context of what information comes out. But from my
Right.
knowledge, I might be wrong, but from my knowledge, he had a big part in the producing and everything of the thing. So if there was complaints of everything, would that have not gone?
Right.
I don't know. Until that comes out, I don't know.
That is a
But
fair point.
you know what I'm
That's a
saying?
very fair
If
point.
he's someone who's working on the movie and it's his project, and people complain, he's gone off and just get on with it.
Yeah.
Someone's got to be held accountable. But then I'm going on what we've seen come out like this
Well,
in a couple of days. We know in a couple of days things might have completely flipped on their head, and we don't really know the ins and outs. So I can't really make this is how, because none of us really know.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's a good point. Because if he does have a lot to do with the production of this movie, then it might fall
it
back
would.
on him.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying because from what I've read is he's producing the movie. So I don't know. Again, I don't know about how
Yeah.
things are made. Would he have a big part if people complaining on set? Would that go through him? I don't know.
Right. Yeah. And a producer is just kind of it's one of those titles that you're either fully involved or you can have no involvement whatsoever and you just get a producer credit.
Yeah,
So there's no it doesn't really tell how involved he actually is. So that's a very good point, man. But either way, condolences for the family, for the
It's terrible.
cinematographer.
And even
Yeah.
back, do you know what? I must have been about, when was Brandon Lee? 91, was it? 1991, I think, something like that, or
It was
92.
like 92, I think.
Yeah, so like I was 12 at the time when that happened, and even then as a kid I was devastated because I loved him, and even then I was like, how is this happening now? And that
Yeah.
was 1990. That same thing you just said, I felt that same way then, and I'm like, it's 1992, like people are making Terminator movies, and how can there not be health and safety kind of thing?
Well, there is a parallel now that you bring up Terminator. Like, you don't hear these happen in like huge budget movies. You don't hear accidents like this. Like, you
No,
know, a gun. It
no.
seems to be in like lower budgeted movies. Like, I wonder if there's a thing with that. You know, like they can't afford, you know, the really
I think this
expensive
is
props.
I think it's the expensive props, and I think there's going to be, with like Warner and all these studios, as much as the problems we all speak about with all these big companies, they've probably got, you know, there's probably someone on health and safety in this office, someone on health and safety over there.
Right.
Mate, that light's coming. That light, they can't, because they can't afford to have Kate Blanchett walk on a set and a light fall down. You know, and it's probably
Fair.
the budgets of these studios of what they can and can't do. But yeah, you're right. It's terrible. Like I'm still kind of that same feeling of shock, because it's sort of disbelief of like, how is that happened now, like that?
Right.
You know,
It's terrible.
something.
It is. Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah, buddy. No, go ahead.
I was gonna say something nobody's brought up yet in this stream, at least, is that like the cinematographer got shot and killed. The director also got shot. It wasn't just the
Oh.
cinematographer. The director is
didn't read
alive.
that.
The director survived.
Yeah, because
But
as
the
far as I
director
know,
also got shot.
yeah, he as
Oh.
far
By
from
Alec
what,
Baldwin.
yeah,
that
from
that
what
was
I
the same.
they were doing a
Jesus.
thing,
It was like
a,
one bullet or like scene with multiple shots,
yeah,
that
and I
sort of
think it
thing.
went through and hit the person behind. So
Yeah,
it's
Oh boy.
Yeah, so the cinematographer did get killed, of course, but the director is, at least as of now, the director is in the hospital and alive. But yeah, it's
Well, condolences to their families.
Mm.
It's really a shitty position for anybody to be in right now, and I hate that they have to go through that and something that seems so preventable. But all right, so let's move forward here. Something I'm not sure, Seth. I know you know this. Birds of Prey
oh,
sequel
where did
to
this come from? Sorry,
what's that?
Hey, nope, you go.
Birds of Prey sequel to replace Harley Quinn. This is it's what are you gonna say?
I said I know what this is. This is I couldn't remember you sending me this before. Yeah, you sent me this. I know what this article is about. It's it's
Yeah,
Batgirl, right?
Yes, Batgirl is rumored to take place of Harley Quinn, which in the Birds of Prey sequel, which makes sense. You know, it
Yeah.
makes more sense than Harley Quinn being in the Birds of Prey. You know, because she's like what, Sirens, I think. But it was the whole Birds of Prey and the emancipation of the one Harley Quinn was such an odd concept of a movie. It should have just been like a Harley Quinn movie that introduced Birds of Prey, but not a Birds of Prey
just
movie.
biting my tongue.
Say it. Get it out, Ramon.
No. No, because I'm trying to be good with my language and stuff, aren't I? So like,
So my question here is, do you absolutely hate that movie, or like do you like it and this upsets you or something? Like that's my biggest question here. Like I'm curious.
it was shit.
I figured that's what it.
Do you know
I
what it
figured
is,
that's what
right?
you were gonna
Come on,
say.
guys. Look, we're talking about Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is the Joker's girlfriend, one of the most iconic characters ever. And then we get a movie, which was the Suicide Squad. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're fucking. I thought it was a terrible film. Yes, you can watch it. I'm probably overreacting. It's just, you can watch it and go, yeah, you know, kind of like you did with the first Suicide Squad movie. You just watch it and go, eh. But this is Harley Quinn. That character in a film that should have been something special. That should be something we're all sitting here like we did with Joker or the Batman movies, and
Yeah.
we should be looking at that going, wow, what a film. It to me it was just
Oh, I didn't like it. I've never wanted to
I
watch
think
it
it's an
after
no,
that.
I watched it because I thought with her, I like her as an actress and she's obviously beautiful, and I thought, well, yeah, she's a cool actress. It's going to be cool, fun,
Well, she did
and it
fine. The movie was crap. She did fine.
it just, I don't know. It just was. I just don't think it was that. It just wasn't a good film.
No, and unfortunately, it was the last movie Seth and I saw in theaters before COVID hit. So like that was like the last memory of going to a theater up until like 2 months ago. Hey Seth,
Mhm.
now I know you really liked the Birds of Prey movie.
Eh,
How's that
I'll-
longevity of thinking going?
I was
Like,
gonna say my opinion goes back and forth on this movie every single time I watch it, which isn't very much. I've seen it like 3 times. So because I saw it in theaters with you, and I was like, it's all right. Like I was like, it's not as bad as people are saying it is, but I'm like, it's definitely not as good as people are saying it is either.
right.
And then I watched it a second time when it got released. Someone was like streaming it somewhere. So I just tuned in for it and I watched it and I was like, I actually really like this. I was like, it's not a bad movie. I was like, it's fun, it's cool. And then I
Yeah,
watched it again.
you were saying its praises. You're like, Dad, it's such a good movie. You need to give it another watch. And I'm like, I don't want to see this shit show again. No way.
And then I watched it again like a few days before the new Suicide Squad came out. And I I liked it less than I did the second time, but still enjoyed it more than I did the first time I watched it. Like I'm like
Okay.
right in the middle with it. Like it's like it's
Okay.
fine.
With that being said, do you think them replacing Harley Quinn with Batgirl would make it a better movie? Do you think Harley
Yeah.
Quinn being in the Birds of Prey it's unnecessary?
I think it's completely unnecessary. The first movie should not have been called Birds of Prey, and I'm not just saying that because the team itself isn't even formed until the end of the movie. I'm saying that because it's a Harley Quinn movie, and I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys know this because I know you at least is not a huge comic reader. Harley Quinn has never been a part of that team before,
Yeah, it was a strange oddity.
and
It's so weird that they tied those in together. Like
yeah,
I've known that she's part of Sirens, and
right.
I just remember people going, but why is she part of the Birds of Prey? This makes no freaking sense. Now I wonder if what Margot Robbie has to say about this. I didn't see anything coming out. Like I'm not sure if this is like 100% confirmed yet. It's kind of in
Yeah,
the possibility of a rumor mill, but
that's why I had
uh,
that quick first reaction when you brought it up, and
yeah.
because I haven't seen this anywhere. I'm
Well,
not 100% sure on this. I think it makes sense though,
it's
because
the
she'll
site.
probably get Gotham City Sirens. So
The site this resource I got it from is comicbook.com. And they clearly say Batgirl rumored to replace Harley Quinn. But
rumored. Okay,
yeah, so
yeah, but
but
I
I
mean,
didn't bring it up because I get all
yeah,
digitally when I share my screen now for some reason.
but I mean, I think this makes sense. Batgirl is the leader of the Birds of Prey in the comics,
Yeah,
so I mean, I don't know. Just it makes sense to me. I'm more surprised that they'd even do a sequel,
Yep.
because the movie is like really mixed.
Do you know what hurts the most? Again, I know I won't go into the whole thing with Snyder and everything, but it's so difficult to talk about these characters and not think the what if. And it's like, obviously, I obviously wanted the Batman thing with Affleck, right? It didn't happen, whatever. But what I'm saying is, when we watched the first Suicide Squad, all I was thinking is, if they're going to do another film, it's going to be Harley and Joker. I'm thinking it's got to be like her story, and in like kind of like Joker was. And because it was this other thing, I don't know. I just don't think I put it in the same vein as I do the first Suicide Squad. Like I'll watch it and I'll be like, yeah, but it's not something that you're going to go back to and be like with all the other movies, Dawn of Justice, Justice League and all that. I'm not going to go back to that particular DC film and go, oh, I've got to watch that again because it's on. It's just not one of those. It's just one of them. I think like 4 2, like 4 Dark World. It's one of them where I go, yeah, I'll watch it, but I'm like that with it. It's
Well,
You know?
it's funny you bring that up because Endgame made me want to go back and watch Thor: The Dark World again.
Yeah, it's like I
Uh,
watch it, but I'm not like if we're all sitting here and go, right, we're going to do a watch party and pick 5 DC movies and 5 Marvel. I'm not going to go Harley Quinn movie. Like, you know what I mean? And we should be. We
Right.
should. It's Harley Quinn. We should be going, we should be debating that. We should be going, the Harley Quinn movie, that's a seriously good movie. But we're not. It's just, it's there. And that's
Yeah, it's
that's the
just there.
problem I have. It
It
should
just
be great.
exists.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very curious as to what Aaron White thought of Birds of Prey and the Emancipation of One Harley Quinn or whatever the freak that movie's called.
We just call it Birds of Prey. I promise.
yeah.
Nobody says the full title of that movie. Like,
I remember
casually.
when they first released the title of that, they showed like the script, and everyone thought, "Is this a joke?"
Yeah,
like
yeah.
no one believed it was
And
real.
and even with a title like that, that's like a bizarre, strange, crazy long title. And you're thinking, right, these guys are really going to go to town with a great film here. They're really going to go for it with a name like that.
What?
I'll.
Aaron White never
Oh, wow.
saw it.
There
That's
you
the
go.
one movie.
That
Man,
says-
that speaks volumes about this movie.
I'll
It's a
say
sh-
this though about
yeah.
Birds of Prey, and it's my biggest praise of the movie. Ewan McGregor as Black Mask was like really good.
Mm.
Well,
like
no,
that's
no,
still
no. Ewan McGregor was really good. He could have been generic bad guy number 2. It didn't.
Yeah, but he was Black Mask, and it was cool.
He was like for like a minute.
Well, I mean, he was Black Mask the whole time. Roman Sionis, it's Black Mask.
I get it.
Bruce
I get
Wayne
it.
is Batman. Roman Sionis is Black Mask. It's
all right.
Let him have it. Let him have it.
And the biggest mistake. Well, do I spoil this movie since Aaron White's never seen it and he's watching?
All right, Aaron. Spoiler alert! If you ever want to watch it, close your ears for about 10 seconds. Go ahead, Seth.
The biggest mistake this movie ever did was killing off Black Mask. That was the biggest mistake this movie had.
Is it the biggest mistake that movie did?
I think the biggest
no,
mistake,
it is because you could have utilized him in so many other areas. He could have easily been the villain in the new Batgirl movie. That could have tied that into the Birds of Prey, and had her somehow lead her to the team. Like
all right.
I don't know. I think there's possibilities here that were just thrown out the window with killing him off.
I think with the cast they had with Harley Quinn, the known actors, the backstories, I think the biggest mistake with that movie is that they made it.
I knew you were going to say that. I called it when I saw your face when he said the biggest mistake. Yeah, I knew you were going to say that.
But like I always say, it's good that if Seth likes something, it's good because that's the whole point of cinema is that I like something, he might hate it, you like something. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point of all of this. And I'm surprised. I'm surprised that you liked it, but at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. At the end of the day,
well,
for example, I love June, and you're kind of like that with it. So that's what it's all about.
As movie reviewers, not critics, you could say, but like as people that enjoy movies, you have to find a positive in everything, even the shitty movies. And there is one good thing about that Birds of Prey movie.
She had a pet hyena.
I was going to say this. I'm going to say the sandwich. The sandwich looked really good.
Oh yeah, it did. Yeah, it did actually.
I've always wanted to make that sandwich ever since I saw that movie.
That
sandwich did look really good.
That's my high praise for that film.
The one thing as well that threw me off with that movie, genuinely speaking, is I felt that she was acting completely different to how she did in Suicide Squad. I don't know if that was a conscious thing, but when you see how she was in Suicide Squad, I loved her as Harley Quinn. When I saw her in Emancipation of blah, 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 I just kind of it felt like she was acting a different role. I don't know. It just didn't feel like it was the same person.
What do you think about the newest Suicide Squad movie?
I loved her in there. I didn't think the movie was great, but I like her. I know of people like that with her, but I loved her in it. That scene with her in the hallway was amazing.
What about compared to how she was in the first Suicide Squad movie?
Personally, I know this is going to again. I've said this before. I still think the first one was better, and I don't think the first one's a good movie. I think the first movie is a much better film, and it ain't a good film. That's what that's how I feel with Suicide Squad.
Well, to kind of move on past this real quick, but
yeah,
I did want to just quickly say that I think we're seeing an evolution of Harley Quinn. You
Mm.
know, like her, Margot Robbie as an actress. You know, she's just honing in better and better
Like if
as
you
that
look at all those
performance.
3 films, she's Harley Quinn in 3 films, right? You look at her performance, she's not the same at all in any one. Like you wouldn't. Whereas Affleck in Dawn of Justice, Affleck in Justice League, it's like, right, that's Bruce Wayne, Batman. It's the same. But when I watch her in all of those movies, it's like she's doing it. I don't know. It just doesn't fit.
Right. That's what I'm
with
saying.
either
Like
of-
it's
yeah,
a it's
yeah,
an
yeah.
evolution. I think after this last Suicide Squad movie, I think that's going to be the template of Harley Quinn moving forward.
Mm.
So, Aaron White does say, "I'd love for them to make a Raw Joker and Harley Quinn movie in the vein of like Natural Born Killers." Natural
That
Born
would
Killers,
be
the greatest
amazing.
love story ever told,
No, no, it's not.
in
The
my
best-
opinion.
No, it's not. It's not. The best love story ever told is Return of the Living Dead 3 with Julie when she turns into a zombie and they go in the furnace at the end. Oh, that's so wicked.
I'll say this
Alright.
about Birds of Prey right before we move on.
Okay.
It's weird to me that Harley Quinn is kind of the face of the DCEU right now, and not like Superman.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like she is. Like, I don't know why. Like,
Well, because I don't
she's
think anybody.
popular, but like,
She's like the most consistent thing in the DCEU right
Is
now.
the
Like,
one thing left, really. Yeah, other than
yeah,
Gal Gadot.
yeah,
Right.
and yeah, Jason
but
Momoa too. Maybe they're like the faces of the DCEU at this point. You got Aquaman, you got Wonder Woman, you got Harley Quinn, and of course they're gonna throw Peacemaker up there as one of the main DCEU stars. So
well, we'll see how the show goes.
I think it looks pretty good. So
All right. Let me see if I can bring this up without getting all digity.
I'm gonna watch Birds of
Okay.
Prey tonight.
my condolences. Oh yes, I was hoping you'd talk about this.
Yeah, Hayden Christensen returning to Star Wars with, how do you pronounce that? Ashoka?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka.
Oh, okay, Ahsoka. I was switching to S and H.
Oh,
And
I'll
he's
let you know
also-
right now. You're starting to lag just a little bit.
All right, I'm taking
It's-
it down.
It was only like a second, but it happened right when you brought it up. So
Yeah.
Ahsoka Tano.
yeah, Ahsoka Tano. And if you don't know, Ahsoka Tano is his apprentice on the Clone Wars TV show. And Ahsoka
Oh, is that the
was-
orange lady?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she was in one of the episodes, only one, but she was in one episode of The Mandalorian season 2.
And she's
that was
fit.
the first time we ever saw her in live action. I think it was Rosario Dawson who played
Yeah,
her.
that's it. Yeah.
And within a month, they had announced a spinoff for Ahsoka. So, I mean, it's not too surprising that he's coming back. I'm just wondering, like, how is he going to come back? Are we going to see him in flashbacks? Are we going to see him as a Force ghost? Like, are we going to see him as Darth Vader? Because
Okay.
you know, the headline says that he's returning to Star Wars with this show. He's returning to Star Wars with Obi-Wan Kenobi, the TV
Right.
show Obi-Wan. We know he's in that too. So he's returning to Star Wars with that. So I'm curious if Obi-Wan's going to tie into Ahsoka somehow, even though they like the time gap is kind of big. But
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
see, this is where I get confused of the Star Wars timeline. Like, I'm not exactly sure that the continuity of these TV shows are really throwing a wrench in there for me. But could it be possible that the Ahsoka is going to be a prequel and it could go back to the Obi-Wan time?
I mean, it's possible, but I think okay. So I'll tell you when these two shows take place, so you're not like super lost. The Clone Wars takes place in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. The Clone Wars is canon completely. All of it is completely canon. And The Mandalorian takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Mm.
So there's quite a big gap there. But
Right.
and of course, Obi-Wan is taking place before A New Hope. But with Ahsoka, though, they set up a storyline, like just through dialogue, like very brief dialogue, but like if you were to dive into that dialogue, it could spin off into a whole show. So like I'm assuming that's where they're gonna go with it. I think it's I can't remember his name. They mentioned a villain. It was a villain who was in all the books and like the video games and stuff. And then
Yeah.
those books and games were taken out of canon. And then later on in another
Oh,
Star
was
Wars
it
show,
probably what's his name then? The blue dude.
you know who I'm talking
Yeah, of
about. I
course.
can't
Yeah,
remember his name right now.
not Grand Moff Tarkin. It's
I'm gonna see if I can
oh
look it up right
crap,
now.
his name. I should know his name. Do you know
Blue dude, Star Wars. That's what I'm
yeah, I
googling
should
here.
know his name because I
Admiral Thrawn.
Thrawn. Yeah,
Thrawn.
sorry,
Yeah.
yeah.
They name dropped Thrawn in the
Well, that's
episode of The
that's
Mandalorian she
obviously
was
what it's
in.
going to be about then, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I reckon if it's going to be about him, that's going to be after he's dead. So the chances are it might be in her one, it's flashbacks, and in the Obi-Wan series, it's him as Anakin. Maybe I don't know.
well, the Obi-Wan show, it's confirmed that he's playing Darth Vader.
So it's going to be after, right? Okay.
Yeah, they'll probably do Clone Wars flashbacks. I would
Yeah,
assume, like
yeah,
maybe like an episode, or like depending on how long the show is, maybe a quarter of an episode that takes place in the Clone Wars era. I think that would be
yeah.
really cool for the people who like the show. I'll admit, I've never actually watched the show, like all of it.
What, Clone Wars or
Clone Wars.
yeah, Clone Wars is wicked, man. Really, really good.
I know some of the things that happen, but like if you were to ask me, like, oh, what do you think of the arc in season 5? I would have no
Yeah,
clue what
yeah.
you're talking
Yeah,
about. Like,
it's one of those. It's one of the few animated shows that I ended up. I don't know, because I love Star Wars. I just started watching it, and it's really good, really good.
yeah. So
Um,
you're Dad,
I
you're
think
quiet.
I think he
Because
would be good.
I don't know anything about Star Wars. Like I'll just sit back and
That's all
absorb
right.
the conversation.
That's all right.
I'm glad he would be back. Like he got a lot of stick when he was in the movies as Anakin, but I still think he done okay. I think whoever was going to be playing that role as Vader anyway at the time, it would be kind of identical now to someone coming in and replacing Robert Downey Jr. at that time. Like Vader was such an iconic character. Whoever's going to be behind the mask, it was a tough thing to do. But I don't mind him. I quite liked him.
I'll
Well,
sorry.
you talking about Hayden Christensen's performance, right? Like I trust that he'll do good under the right direction. I mean, I think George Lucas kind of misguided him in a lot of that role and brought him back in the third prequel, and that's the Anakin that I want to see. And how we've made it this long without ever getting a Darth Vader story. Like I hope
in
this will
terms, in terms,
before A New Hope. Like how we've never seen that come to play. Like I hope him being put into these shows will actually birth that. How great would it be if him coming back into the shows started a Darth Vader live action full cinema movie, like just the whole, like everything that
I'd
he
watch a
did.
Vader movie. I would definitely watch it. I know it sounds silly, but I would if there was like a
Why
Vader
does
movie.
why does it sound silly? It sounds silly that we don't have one.
Because to be honest, like at the end of the Rogue One was like I like Rogue One. Out of all the newer movies, that's the one movie I thought was the most Star Wars feeling. Force Awakens was okay, but I think Rogue One felt like it. And the last like 5-10 minutes, like just the scene with Vader walking down the hallway was just brutal. Like, he just walks in, the lightsaber goes on, and this like instant fear, like he's going to kill all of you. And that's what to me Star Wars was as a kid. Like I was terrified of him growing up as a kid. He was so scary. Like he was awful. But yeah, I would love something like that, definitely.
Oh, we got a Twitch comment. Let's check this out. Want to become famous by followers and viewers on bigfollows.com. Oh, thanks, Johnny. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Johnny.
Fucking robot.
Your mum.
And this was news. Hayden Christensen's coming back for Ahsoka was news that like it was the Hollywood Reporter. And even though sometimes, if you see an article by the Hollywood Reporter, Variety, and Deadline, you see that, you basically go, yeah, that's confirmed. Sometimes that's not true. I would like to point out quickly, this is like officially confirmed. The star of Ahsoka has confirmed that Hayden Christensen is coming back in this show.
Cool.
I think
So,
it's good news.
like, this is-
Overall, I'm
yeah,
happy.
I
man.
actually
agree. I
happening.
think it's good news. I'm excited for it. I hope it births the movie that we all like. Anybody who likes Star Wars of any magnitude, we all deserve.
There's a couple of things I want to say with
Darth
Hayden
Vader movie.
Christensen. Yeah, he got slated for his acting in that, and he done that movie Jumper. And do you know what? I must have seen that 10 times, and I love it. It ain't the best of movies, but I just really like it. And before he was in Star Wars, you're gonna have to look it up, like whoever's watching, if you want to know. Anyway, there was a movie with Hayden Christensen where he's a lot younger, obviously, but he's an adopted kid. It's a film about adoption, and it's got him in it, and that's where I knew him from before Star Wars, and he was brilliant in it. But I can't for the life of me remember what it's called. But it's worth checking out on his movies and stuff. But
You know who I've seen Hayden Christensen compared to is Robert Pattinson, because Robert
yeah, they've
Pattinson
got that
was
same kind of
he did Twilight, and that's all
Yeah.
he was known for a very long time. And
yeah.
everyone hated Twilight. Well, not everyone, but like
Yeah,
a lot of people didn't like Twilight, and a lot of people specifically thought he was a bad actor in Twilight. But he went off and he did like these smaller like indie type movies,
Yeah.
and then
That's
he got
kind of how
discovered
yeah.
like many years later, and
That's-
people were like, "This
that's-
guy's a great actor."
I'll
It's
have to
kind of the
find
same
out
with
what it
Hayden
was called.
Christensen. The only difference is he never actually got like rediscovered.
Yeah, there
Like-
was because I'll have to find out what it was called, because I just remember watching this movie and he's like the main focus of this film, and I was like, this dude's. I just thought he was great, and then a couple of months later, it was like he's cast as Vader as Anakin. I was like, oh my god, he's going to be amazing, and it was. But he's better than that. That's what I
Well,
mean.
yeah,
He is.
that's-
He's better than that.
That's why I'm a firm believer that George Lucas was the misstep
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Him direct, because if you notice, like he did the same thing with A New Hope. Luke Skywalker in A New Hope, which was directed by George Lucas. He was kind of a weenie, he really was. It wasn't until George Lucas stepped back and let somebody else take the director's chair for the other two movies that Luke Skywalker became a badass. And then I think George Lucas, he wants to tell these fantastical operas, but he has a hard time getting his actors to do the right thing. I don't know. I'm not here to hate on George Lucas. He created a whole freaking empire, but yeah.
Was that a pun? Created an empire.
Yeah, sure. I did it on purpose. Why not? But I'm excited to see him come back, and as I said, I hope we get a Darth Vader movie. All right, I'm scared to bring up screens now because I get all
that movie,
laggy.
it's from 2001, and it's called Life as a House. It's just an American drama, and Hayden Christensen's in that. That's the movie. And
Life
it's just
as a
about
House.
it's about a house that it's just a family film, but he's just brilliant in it. That's where I remember first seeing him. But yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Check it out. Life as a House. Hayden Christensen.
Yeah. I forgot this news was even this week. Like, I know I sent it to you, but like,
yeah, you sent it to me early in the week. Yeah, but
Yeah.
Marvel delays every movie besides two, which is Far From Home or No Way Home, and what's the other one?
Guardians of the Galaxy
No?
3.
Oh.
Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Why is that? Why did they push back every movie? Do you know this? Seth?
Yeah. So when I sent you the article, it was unknown why, and a lot of people were afraid that there were like other COVID concerns we didn't know about.
Right.
And so everyone was like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get the Batman delayed now. Now No Way Home's gonna get delayed too." No, it was something that involved like specifically Disney. So it was a production shifts and stuff behind the scenes, I guess. Like I don't really know how a lot of that stuff works. But
Right.
Kevin Feige did say it was stuff behind the scenes, like production stuff, that they just had to delay things a couple months. And he said that it wasn't a COVID concern. It wasn't like anything like that. It was just production shifts, and he said it's nothing to worry about, really.
Okay. See, I was trying to wonder, like, because yeah, I had no clue why they were pushing it back. I'm like, I thought we were past this with COVID
Yeah.
concerns.
Yeah, that's why you're not going to see things like No Way Home get delayed. We're not going to
Right.
see the Batman get delayed. Those are fine where they are.
Okay. Well, that's good.
And I like to point this out. A lot of people are really upset about those delays, they weren't really delayed very far.
It's like a month, 2 months. It's
Yeah,
not really
it's
a big deal.
like Doctor Strange 2, like you read that headline at first, like what Doctor Strange 2 was delayed? Like, no way. But then you click on it, it was moved from late March to early May. So like it's not even 2 months that it was moved. Like
Yeah.
you're skipping April, and that's basically it.
I
Like that's
think
all
what
you're
it-
missing.
Well, yeah, but I think more so what people are outraged about is not the fact that, yeah, okay, they moved up a couple months, but now we live in this world where the movie companies can just frivolously move movies around whenever they want. Like before, like when a movie came out, it was set in stone. But post COVID, like now it's just whenever. Oh no, actually, we're gonna hold this back another year. We'll put this one up a couple of weeks. Like there's an uncertainty. I think that's more what people are getting upset about.
You know, everyone's talking about the Marvel delays. These poor Indiana Jones fans. Did you see how far that movie was delayed?
Oh no,
That was delayed from July 2022 to like June 2023. Like that was delayed 11 months.
I forgot about. They're looking for a director, aren't they?
No, they're filming. They've been filming.
No, I know, but I read something the other day that there's another delay because the director left or got fired, and now they're looking for another director.
I didn't see
I
that.
think
I
they
don't
should.
that's
I
true.
think they should. I mean, they're making it, but I think they should have quit with that anyway. To be honest with you, like the original trilogy is just wonderful. Like they're just 80s classics, man. Like they're just classics. But after that last one, I'm just kind of like, hang up your hat, Indy.
Yeah, they literally jumped the shark in that movie, but instead of jumping the shark, we can call it swinging. You know, in the trees now.
Again, it's more just, again, like we've said with a lot of things, it was more the writing. It wasn't so that Harrison Ford weren't good in it. He did what he could do, but it just the story was just not that great, was it?
It wasn't told very well.
You know who's directing this one, right?
Who?
It's the part that gets me the most excited for this. And I'm not some huge Indiana Jones fan. I still need to watch all of them. But the person directing this is James Mangold, who directed Logan.
Oh, that is exciting.
And he directed Ford v Ferrari, which I don't know if you've seen Ford v Ferrari. Ford v Ferrari is a really good movie.
He's got a nice resume.
He does. And
that might be a good, well, there you go. Well, that might be a pleasant surprise then.
Yeah. So James Mangold I like Logan a lot.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find.
I don't think whatever you saw is true.
That's good. That's really good news though, because then he might do. Well, he will do it justice. I believe. Now you've just said that he will do it justice. He's not going to go in and just make a hammy crap. He just won't. He won't. Not after those movies. Logan's a great movie. I didn't even want to see Logan when it come out, simply because of how I felt the X-Men movies were going. They just got a bit. They just weren't that great. And Logan come out, and I was like, wow, like why are they not making the movies like this?
The X-Men movies are so up and down. Like you got X-Men 2, which is really good, and then you have X-Men 3, which people don't like at all, and then you have X-Men First Class, which is great. And then what's the next one after that? What's the next X-Men movie? Is it Days of Future Past? And then people love Days of Future Past, and then you get Apocalypse and Dark Phoenix.
I love Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past is really good. I
think
have not seen Dark Phoenix.
Oh no! And that came out roughly the same time as Logan. That's what don't make sense.
It's like you have 2.5 years later,
and it's like Logan was just
because then you got movies like Logan and both the Deadpool movies. I know this is an unpopular opinion. I like the second Deadpool movie more than the first Deadpool movie. But
I don't think that's that unpopular.
I think both of them are really good. But I think the second one is better. Just my opinion.
Yeah, they're both. They're just both good films. I think they're just both really good movies.
But then you got those, and then Apocalypse. I'm not. I hated that. Apocalypse. Oh,
I went to the theater to see that, and I only went.
My condolences. I did not see that movie in theaters. I rented that on like Redbox, and I'm glad I did because that movie is
The reason I went as well, obviously it's X-Men and everything else, and I was like, Oscar Isaac's in it. I love Oscar Isaac, and I watched it, and I was like, this is really, really bad.
I forgot Oscar Isaac was in that. I forgot he was Apocalypse.
Yeah,
that was like nothing like him.
Yeah, and I thought, with him in it, I thought, great, they're back on. This is the right sort of track. It's not a good movie.
I saw Dark Phoenix in theaters.
I still have not watched Dark Phoenix. I didn't watch Dark Phoenix because of Apocalypse. I lost all interest in the franchise.
Yeah, it's about the same level as bad.
Yeah, it's about the same level. I I don't think either one of those movies are actually terrible, but I think they're completely unnecessary and just it just fizzled out. Like the whole franchise was fizzling out, and they were just hanging by a thread trying to keep these characters alive. And they saw the funnel; it was happening. They were starting to go, okay, we might have to start sharing with the MCU to breathe new life into these
Like
characters.
with Dark Phoenix, for example, they should have just walked away from doing X-Men movies a year or two, couple of years, 3, 4 years. Logan comes out, and then Dark Phoenix should have been cast with whoever else, and it should have been done like that, like a more serious movie, and it would have ended up being a great film. Like,
I didn't want to see Dark Phoenix done again. I
mm,
mean, by the same person.
yeah.
Brian, what is that? Brian Singer, right?
Yeah,
He
that's
didn't
just
do either of the Dark Phoenix movies.
Then who did the Dark? Because I know whoever wrote the Dark Phoenix for the first story is the one who directed the movie
Yeah,
for the
I
second
don't know
one.
the name. I don't know the name, but
I can't remember, but
I know this. The director of Dark Phoenix, like the
yeah.
movie Dark Phoenix, was like a random producer on some
Oh,
of the X-Men movies. It was like his first time ever directing a movie too, which doesn't mean a movie's gonna be bad automatically. By the way, for anyone
right.
out there who might watch this later and think that I'm saying that, I have to clarify that.
Well, let's see here. There's a couple things that oh, we got a comment. Oh yeah, Brett
Oh,
Ratner.
yeah, he did X3. Cool.
Ratner.
And do you know what's funny? He done. Actually, I've got to look it up because there was a film of his the other week I watched, and it was a brilliant movie, and I can't remember what it was. Wait a minute. Continue. Sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. Well, before we, I'm trying to write something here. Okay, so Marvel has delays for all their movies besides 2, but it's not that big of a deal. Stop crying about it, everybody. Okay.
Indiana
again?
Jones fans are allowed to cry.
Yes, and I read up on that while you guys were talking, and it was delayed. I think Harrison Ford has an injury or something like that. But
Yeah, okay, that would make sense. It could be a mix of that and
yeah.
like the production shifts and stuff.
So again, I'm having a little tech issues. Like I can bring up the screen to this, but every time I bring up a screen, like it gets really laggy. So I'm just gonna try not to bring up the screen as much as I can. But Ann Sarnoff, who works with Warner Brothers, kind of did this article, this Q&A thing, and where she was asked about Matrix 5, Dune 2, and The Sopranos. And she didn't really confirm anything like solid, confirmation. But she did say that the Matrix movie, the Matrix 4 that's coming out, Resurrection, is that the name of it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, Resurrections.
That Resurrection is supposed to reboot the franchise to leave the option for them to continue making movies. And she said, the director of Matrix, whenever they want to do another movie, she's got their back. They're completely on board. They will support that decision. So Matrix 5, very good possibility. Dune 2 confirmed. Also by all Ann Sarnoff had to say about this was basically, well, we know how the movie ends, so it leaves a lot. It leaves it up to, like, we know this story is supposed to continue, but she doesn't really say that it's confirmed. But she did kind of hint that we know how it ends, right? Go see it and support it, so we'll make a second one.
Yeah,
but they haven't. Sorry, go ahead, buddy.
She said she was talking about how like people ask her like, well, what's going on with Dune 2? And all she said was, if you've seen the end of the first one, I think you know the answer to that. Like you know the answer to if Dune 2 is going to happen.
Here's a question, guys, because again, we don't get HBO Max over here, so like I have to go on VPN to whatever and get access to it. But how much do movies that go on HBO Max make? So like Godzilla or whatever, how do they work that out?
I don't know how the money works on HBO Max. I feel like they're losing money with every movie they put on there. But
Right?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how they distribute that either.
Because as far as I know, Dune made 100 million prior to the release in the UK and the States. It made 100 million by, you know, other countries, Australia and everywhere else. If it's made it's made roughly 40 to 50 million this weekend. That's 150 million. The budget was 165, so it's going to make its money back. But it depends. I hope that it makes enough. That's why I asked about the HBO thing. I don't know.
Right. So, like, when you hear those numbers, when you hear that, oh, they made $50 million at the box office, does that include whatever revenue they use for the streaming service? You know, like, let's
That's
say,
what. Yeah, that's what I'm
yeah.
trying.
So,
Yeah. I don't know.
is there a certain like set number percent saying, okay, well, you get this percent of, you know, streaming revenue for every click you get, you know, or something like this? I'm not exactly sure how that works. And I think I'm not sure if they know how that works exactly.
I think it'll
Hence
definitely
the whole
make it.
Scarlett Johansson lawsuit thing.
I think my main concern was initially was that I'm thinking, is it going to be like a box office bomb in terms of like, we'll know, you know what I mean? One of them ones where it's like, oh, no one's gone. I think if they've made that already, if they've made over 100 already, I think it will do okay. I don't think it's going to be like, oh, wow, it's made 800 million. I don't think that, but I think it will do enough for them to have the decision now. Well, we've made money back, we made some money. Shall we make it? I think they'll have that option, but I just hope that they do, because you know I loved it. So we'll see, won't we?
Well, we'll see, because it hasn't been confirmed, but you know she did. Seth will tell you it's pretty much confirmed, but I don't see that until there's actual confirmation. Her being, you know, like, you know, dancing around the question, I don't see that as a confirmation, but
because otherwise, yeah,
it's this movie, and this is not a spoiler. We know it's adapting the first half. It's not like, if you don't get a sequel, then this movie is kind of pointless.
Yeah,
like it needs a second one to make sense. Like, you know, it's like it's not like. I'll use another two-parter, for example.
It would be like releasing Batman v Superman or Justice League, but not Justice League 2. Yeah.
It's
yeah.
Thing, the difference between
really is like that. Yeah, it is.
The difference between that is that BVS is still its own film and its own story.
Yeah, I meant to say Justice League. That's the example I meant to use.
It's to leave it on that sort of cliffhanger.
But even then, like, Justice League still tells a full story. Like the Snyder Cut, it still tells this full story that you can watch, like, without you know, absolutely needing a sequel to continue this specific story, because the story that movie is telling, it told. With Dune, the story's not done. Like they didn't tell a full story and then set up new story. No, they told half of a story. And like, I think the best way to compare this, if you have a better way, then tell me, but I think the best way to compare this is if they split like the Snyder Cut into two movies, like two 2-hour movies, released the first half and then didn't release the second half. Like,
I'd be
it makes the first half completely pointless. Like,
okay, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
That's I mean, with Dune, it's such a big thing to get into. That's what I mean. Like, when I remember watching that as a kid, and I didn't really like David Lynch's one, and I watched it again a few years ago, and I don't know, I just got really, really into it. And then when this was getting made, I was like, I weren't like Stevie, I weren't mad hyped to see it, because I'm thinking it's such a complicated story. I don't know how it's going to go. So I went into it very, very like, ugh. And I watched it, and I loved it, man. Like, I didn't want it to end. And I don't know. I know everyone's different and everything, but I just didn't want it to end. And that's, I think, with a lot of blockbusters this year, we have all the hype around movies. You have the hype around Venom. You have the hype around Godzilla. You have the hype around Mortal Kombat. None of these movies, to me, came remotely close to Dune, in my opinion. The best movie for me of the year is easily Justice League as a film. Is easily for me is the best movie, but this Dune for me is the second, because there's not been anything on that scale where I've kind of come away like, wow.
Well, Seth, well, everyone kept harping on me because they're like, oh no, you need to go see it in theaters. That's what your problem is. You need to go see it in theaters. And I'm like, no, my issues with the movie had nothing to do with the grand spectacle of it. It had to do with my ignorance to it. And like, people are forgetting that at the end of my review, I clearly stated, listen, this movie's not for me. I am not the targeted audience. And I'm okay with that. I said, if I set that aside, The
Yeah,
movie
I
was
don't
good
think
for what it was.
it's not for everyone. Yeah, but it's the same way. Because I've done like a reaction to it, but I've not done a review because I don't know how to sort of do it. Because the only way I can put it is if you in the easiest way to describe this movie for someone watching this in simple terms is it's like having Blade Runner meets Game of Thrones. If you don't like those two, you will not like Dune.
Right.
That's to me, that is because that's basically what it is. It's the visuals of Blade Runner and that sort of, but the story is like Game of Thrones in terms of it's like we've just watched season 1 of Game of Thrones. You've got another 7 seasons yet.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get nothing. You're getting like 10%. There's you. So that's
Right.
the thing with it.
Well, and my point, to reiterate what I was saying about people saying, "Well, you need to see it in theaters," is Seth saw it in like the biggest theater. And, like he went and saw it in like
Yep, I
the
did.
ultra big IMAX screen, like it's bigger than the regular IMAX screen, I think. And he came away from this movie with near the same thoughts that I did. Is that correct,
Mm.
Seth? You were
Yeah,
just
I think I did like it a little bit more, but
well, if there's just a lot of gobbledygook at the beginning, you're like, I don't know these words or why they're saying
Well,
them.
that's
that
the
was my
that's
biggest problem is
that's the
it was
thing.
hard
It's
for me to follow. Like a lot
yeah.
of the
Right.
time I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't able to process everything they threw at you. Like, wait, who's on whose side? Like, what's this team called? Are they the enemy? Are they not an enemy?
Right.
Like, I
In
didn't
simple
understand
terms, I know
everything.
we're
So
going to do
like when things were happening, I couldn't
a spoilers
understand.
thing on Tuesday, yeah. So
Yeah.
let me just have like 30 seconds to just make it simple for anyone that watches this, and if they're going to watch June, simple, yeah. Harkonnens bad, Atreides good, Emperor at the top, yeah. Emperor wants Atreides gone, Harkonnen wants Atreides gone. Film follows the Atreides. That's it.
Oh.
Okay.
That's it.
You make it sound simple.
That's
Denis
yeah, but
Villeneuve does not make
yeah,
it sound
that's
simple.
Right.
so
That
how,
yeah. That
yeah. So
now
like how's
so what they need to do for for this possible Dune 2 movie is at the very beginning just have Ramon come on and be like,
like that.
so and
That's
so
kind of
good,
yeah.
so and so bad.
That's
Yeah.
kind of how it is. It's like the Harkonnen. So the Harkonnen household is like the Baron and all of those. At the very top above that is the Emperor who controls everything. The Emperor has got the Harkonnens on Dune getting the spice. Spice helps space travel. It helps the world, the galaxy, consciousness, everything. He then asks the Atreides to go and replace them on Dune and sets them up because Paul is born, who's the main boy. Timothy Chalamet is born, and he is so powerful that he can overthrow the Emperor. So they put the Atreides family on Dune. So then they basically set them up to get them wiped out before they become too powerful. That's what it's about.
So we got your 30-second breakdown, and then we got your minute and a half breakdown.
Sorry. So, and right, sorry. One more thing. The people that live under the sand are the Fremen, and they're the ones with the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
I picked
All
that up when I watched the movie.
Like once,
Blue eyes, spice.
yeah, like once you
stuff.
watch it again and you know those things, it's like it really ain't that. It just really isn't that different. It's like watching Game of Thrones at the first of all. You go Starks,
Yeah, I need
Lannisters, like
to
what?
give it a rewatch, I think.
It's one of them.
All right, I'm going to move forward past the Dune. I'm going to move forward past it because we'll talk a lot Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Film Trigger live. We're doing a spoiler talk. I think we have a few other guests joining us as well, but I'll let you know the more we know. So moving forward, possible Sopranos prequel series. This is also part of Ann Sarnoff's Q&A of that article that I was reading. I never watched the prequel movie. Like I watched the show, like when it was at the original show. I never saw the prequel movie. Don't have any interest in it. I hear that Tony Soprano actually wasn't in it as much as people thought he would be. But if they did a Sopranos prequel series that would lead Tony Soprano, then I would totally be down for something like that. What about you guys?
I've never seen The Sopranos, and that's what I was just about to ask you. It's the one big show that I've just. It's not that I don't want to wait. It's just one of those I've just never got around to. Is it still worth? Is it one of those shows that's still worth watching now? Do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's timeless. It's it's set in modern enough times that they have cell phones and all that stuff. You're not going to be taken out of the story with the it being like 15 or 20 years old or whatever. So yeah, I would definitely give it a shot. It was a good show. It led into it gave you a glimpse into the mafia world, but beyond the mafia world. How their family life is. He's a family guy. He has a wife and kids, and like, how does
He's
he
a
balance that?
He was such a great actor, man.
Oh
I've seen
yeah.
him in so many movies. He was such a cool dude.
So,
Really
but
liked him as well.
yeah, and his son plays him in the prequel.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh,
his
right.
son is playing his father's role, which is a really cool thing.
How
So,
many seasons is that? Sopranos.
I
Is
don't
it
know.
like is it like a 12 seasons or like 6, 7? I don't know if it's.
I want to say like
6
6 or
seasons.
yeah. Okay.
Oh,
6
cool.
seasons. There are 86 episodes total. So
Yeah, there you go. So it's not a bad watch. Yeah, give it a shot, and then once you catch up on it, then we'll talk
Yeah,
more
yeah,
about
yeah,
a
yeah.
possible
I'll do that. Yeah.
Sopranos prequel series. All right. Sony releases 2 untitled dates for Marvel movies. Do we know what dates these are, Seth?
I believe they were in the article I sent you.
Yeah, I'm not pulling up the articles right now.
I
Oh
thought it was
yeah, okay, okay.
2023, was it not?
It's 2020. I don't remember the exact dates. I
Yeah,
remember the
20. Yeah,
months.
it's for 2023. What?
Yeah, it's
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up real quick. See if
I
if
don't know the
can
exact dates. I know the
manage it.
months. One is June 2023. The other one is October 2023. And so that's 3 Sony Marvel movies we're getting in 2023 because Kraven the Hunter is getting a movie in January 2023, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson, by the way. He's getting his return to Marvel.
I
So
like him.
yeah, we don't know what these new ones are, but I think it's at least a safe bet that the October one is probably another Venom movie. So yeah, I mean the
That makes
June one
sense.
could be anything. You're lagging already, like you're just visually, but the June movie could be anything. Like it could be a Mysterio
Wow.
movie. It could be a Black Cat movie, which was rumored for a long time. It could be Spider-Man 4, like MCU Spider-Man 4, not Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 4. It could be Tom Holland Spider-Man
Right.
4.
But like, what are the what? Okay, we can go make a list all day of what it could be. It could be anything. But what makes the most sense with the streamline of Marvel content that Sony's coming out with now? I mean, we still have what that is it Mobius?
Morbius.
Oh yeah,
Morbius.
forgot about that.
You can still get
Morbius
more.
is
That's coming
January,
out.
I think. Yeah, that still hasn't been delayed. The movie comes out in January of 2022. So that's in like
Yes,
3 months.
January, the death month of film releases. Yeah.
But I mean, I think the
Mm.
most sense would be MCU Spider-Man 4. Because
Yeah.
those movies don't go onto the MCU slate. Like, when Marvel Studios and Kevin Feige does their big presentation, they don't put the Spider-Man movies up there because they're Sony movies. So I think that would make the most sense here.
Okay.
I mean, because the rumors are that Spider-Man 4 is going to have Kraven the Hunter as the villain, because Kraven the Hunter, what it seems like, at least Kraven the Hunter was supposed to be the villain of No Way Home, but then they were able to pull off this like kind of multiverse thing. So they did that instead, kind of delaying the Kraven the Hunter storyline. And with Kraven getting his own movie before this, in January 2023, Kraven's getting his own movie. So I would assume that would tie directly in with Spider-Man 4.
Oh,
And-
sorry guys, I'm looking for something.
And I know it's a bit
Talk about
kind
yourself.
of. I don't know if it would be one of these 2 movies, but then what will happen with what they done at the end of Venom with him, and Peter Parker? Would you think they're going to cross that over anytime soon, or do you think that'll be a much further down the line, maybe?
I feel like it's going to be a bit further down the line.
Yeah.
Like, I think we might see it teased in No Way Home. But even then, like, if we see it teased in No Way Home, I still don't think we'll actually see this happen for years. Like many, many years.
Mm.
Well, but if I'm assuming this October date is another Venom movie. I think that's the safe assumption.
Yeah,
Obviously, we don't know
yeah,
for sure,
yeah.
but I think that is the safe assumption. I think that makes sense. So, we could see it there. You know, you could see Spider-Man and Venom 3. Um, and then of course that storyline's not going to be one movie. You know, we'll probably see Spider-Man and Venom 3, and then we'll see, you know, Venom in, whether it's if it comes after Venom 3, then we'll see Venom in Spider-Man 4, but you know, maybe even Spider-Man 5, depending on, you know, the which way they release these. So I don't see them doing Spider-Man and Venom in one movie. I think it'll be a long time before we actually see that happen.
All right. Well, cool. Well, all we can do is guess.
Yep.
That's it.
Indeed.
That's
indeed.
it. Thanks for the teaser there, Sony, you dicks. All right. I got one more thing I want to show you guys, and then we have little something else for Seth. He's going to do a little segment of his own. I am going to screen share this, and you guys know I told you I would do it every time there's something new dropped about this.
Oh, yep, I know what this is already. Yep.
The Munsters cast revealed. What are you guys' thoughts here?
They look like the Munsters.
Please jump in anytime.
They look like the Munsters. I mean,
they do, but I don't like how Herman looks. That's just me. I think it'll be good. I'm still going to watch it, but I'm a bit. That picture's a bit weird, I think.
Well, they're at a weird angle.
Yeah.
You know, I see what you mean by the Herman Munster, but one thing I do want to point out is like this little frown that he's doing is actually something that the original actor did quite often.
Yeah.
You know, but I think just the way he's looking back so far, it's kind of distorting what we're actually going to get. But you know me, I'm just hyped up for this.
Yeah, I know you are.
Sharon Moon Zombie. Surprise! What the hell is she doing in this movie? Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm happy. Like, I know, like, she gets stick and everything, but I love her to bits, man. I'm sorry, I'm a fan of their stuff. So, I
don't care. I just hope she
will be awesome. She will be awesome.
The elephant in the room that nobody's talking about. They're all concerned about her not having a widow's peak, and it's all the controversy is around her right now, just being in this movie and people getting tired, exhausted with it. Well, no one's talking about the mustache.
I know.
Nobody's said a word about the mustache. That is interesting. I don't know. Like, that's like a biker stash, you know? Like,
yeah, it is.
Oh man, but I'm excited for it. I was happy when this landed. I'm still, just like we have been, very concerned with the
when is this actually? What's the actual rough release date of? You know, is that next year? What is it? 2023? What's the?
I don't think it has an actual release date.
It might be next year, maybe next Halloween, because it's.
I would imagine.
Yeah, I can't see it's going to be. Yeah, I can't see it's going to be one of those that's going to take like major long to be made. It's not going to be like a major CGI movie or nothing like that. So I don't think it will be.
Right.
You know,
Rob Zombie's very practical.
Yeah. So I'll tell you one thing before you jump onto the thing with Seth. I want to ask you guys a quick question in a second. It's not like a major one, but I think it'll be one for people something for the people out there to get involved in, was all.
Okay, what's your question?
Well, it's Halloween, as you reminded me, for next Sunday. And obviously people are going to be in the mood of watching Halloween movies. I just thought I'd ask you guys to recommend a movie for everyone, like each of us, just to recommend a movie for people to watch, you know, between now and next Sunday, because there's so many great horror movies. I just thought, you know, just chuck it out there and people might go, oh, I haven't seen that. And I know mine, because I sent you a song to it the other day and I've been going crazy about this movie.
Well, go ahead and start off then. What movie do you recommend for our listeners and watchers to watch?
Seen the movie, I highly recommend you watch the 80s version of The Fly with Jeff Goldblum. I watched it again the other day, and it's
is so good.
It's such a wonderful movie, and as a kid, it was a terrifying movie. Now that I'm older and watching it, it's quite a tragic, I wouldn't call it a love story, but it's quite a tragedy. And the music in the film is, oh my God, it's so good.
Seth, have you seen The Fly? And I know you're not into horrors. I know, but I can't
It's-
remember if you've seen it or not.
Yeah, we watched it like 3 months ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just
Oh,
It was
yeah,
more
we
than 3
did.
months ago. It was this year though.
his
forgot.
Yeah, no, I've
performance.
seen it. It's good.
His
I like it.
performance, Jeff Goldblum's performance, was so good in that movie.
Well, and the practical effects were just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So that's
Absolutely
that's the
amazing.
one. Like, I'd obviously
Well,
chuck out
that's okay. That's a good staple. Good staple.
Just-
Good answer.
just something for people to watch. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
'Cause
Seth.
people-
What would you recommend? Our watchers to what Halloween type of movie would you recommend they go out and watch before our show next week?
You know, I don't know because I don't really have a Halloween movie that I watch on Halloween. You know, like that. Like I always have my Christmas movies that I watch every year, but like
Is there any movies that, since you was a kid, growing up till now, a movie that terrified you? Anything? Something that really scared you?
is something that scared me a lot when I was a little kid is just Nightmare on Elm Street,
Oh,
which is
'cause
a pretty
perfect.
basic answer.
Well,
That's
I
perfect, man.
tortured you with that. I made you watch that.
Yeah,
That's perfect,
yeah,
though,
I
man.
told you I was terrified of it, and then you kept pushing that on me. So, but yeah, no,
You're welcome, son.
I'll tell you what made me scared of that when I was a kid. So there's like this Party City near us, which is just like
Oh, I
a
remember this
store,
story.
you know, like a party store. And every Halloween they would it would that season would just take over that store, and I would love to go there and look at the costumes, you know, play with the toys and stuff like that because they had them out for the open. They were meant to be played with, but they had a statue.
Don't judge, Aaron.
They had a statue by the door every year. It was a different one. You know, one year it was a zombie who took off his head and then put it back on like an animatronic. One year it was Freddy Krueger, and that thing did not scare me one bit until because you walk past it and it's like got like a sensor on it and it does something like different things. Sometimes it'll just move around. Sometimes it would like say a Freddy line. You know what scared me? When it started singing that stupid song, like 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you.
Freddy's coming for you.
Yep, that thing
Wonderful.
in the
Beautiful.
terrifying little kid's voice that it had. I ran out of that store and I did not go
Wonderful.
back that year.
Wonderful. That's beautiful.
I
mate.
like
That's-
going
that's-
So Nightmare on Elm Street would be your movie
Yep.
to recommend.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Any of them? Well, not any of them. 1, 3, or New Nightmare.
Yeah, they will. Yep.
Aaron White, I can't show my son any horror. He's the biggest chicken in the world. Oh, you comment about my parenting, but you call your kid names in front of everybody on the internet. Good job.
Go on then,
so-
what's your one then, Stevie?
well, you know what? Okay, number one, I was going to say Nightmare on Elm Street, so that got robbed from me. If
Well, you asked me first, so
yeah, I know. I didn't honestly didn't expect you were going to say that. To be fair, I think a good horror movie, if you're going to go for a staple, God, The Fly is such a good one too. If you want to go for a classic staple, I would say The Thing, the original.
I
The
knew
Thing.
you were gonna say that. I don't know why. I knew you were gonna say that. Like I
Yeah.
said, like
All
feeling
three,
that.
but that's what I'm saying though. Even though I've seen those movies so many times, Halloween, you're in the vibe, you're in that mood or whatever. I would easily just sit and watch all three of those. They're just
Yeah.
every one of them is a good movie.
But if you're wanting like a good like psychological thriller, I would say Psycho. The original Psycho would be another good one to check out.
That's a great
as
movie,
well.
yeah.
It's such a good
Nice.
movie. Not the original, the one in black and white, not the remake that they copy and paste the same exact script, and that was a terrible reiteration. Seth, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, so we have a segment that is brand new today, and it even has its own intro. This is a Seth focused thing, and well, let's just do it right now. Everybody, Seth Conspiracy Corner. All right. So, okay, what I'm going to warn everybody right now is potential spoilers for movies. We don't know if these are true or not. These are rumors, and Seth has like some clips and things that he's found. Now these are soft spoilers, right, Seth? Like it's things that we kind of already know, but we don't know.
Yeah, some things we're gonna dive into more spoiler territory, possible spoiler territory, but
Okay, all
yeah,
right. Well,
for the most part, just take everything as a rumor, and if you don't want potential spoilers, click off now.
yeah.
And I should warn of what movie we'd be potentially spoiling. Today, we're going to be talking about the biggest question in Hollywood for the last year and a half. Before it's officially confirmed, yes or no, we're going to be diving into all of the evidence of the question: will Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield actually be in Spider-Man: No Way Home? And also another little segment: when is the next trailer coming? And I have evidence for both. So
When you say, a lot of people say, well, yeah, of course, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are going to be in the new Spider-Man movie. Is that even a question? Well, yeah, it is, because Andrew Garfield has continually denied. He's like, I have nothing to do with this movie. I have nothing to do with this movie.
And the best part about that is that interview is some of the biggest evidence we have to support them actually being in the movie. So I'm going to dive into this. I'll give you some names now that you need to remember. RPK. That is the name of someone. He goes by Daniel RPK. I'm going to just call him RPK on here for short. RPK is a reliable insider. He's like the one who, he's just he gets information, from the inside sources, and he'll release it to people. He's almost always right. I don't think I've actually ever seen him be wrong before. So he's really reliable.
Okay, so what does he present?
So he is presenting the fact that yes, they are in it, and there's more evidence to dive into later on. But so I'm not going to read the whole thing because I'm not going to spoil the whole movie. But back in April, Daniel RPK posted the entire plot of Spider-Man: No Way Home, or what he believed was the plot of No Way Home. The entire thing. He leaked the whole plot out, but like it wasn't like in extreme detail either, because one of the things they mention is that yes, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in the movie, but the common thing with all of the supposed leaks is that none of them ever specify how Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up. Specifically this one, it all it says is Tobey and Andrew somehow show up in this movie, and we don't know exactly how they show up in this movie. And that's like, you could think like, well, with all this other information that wouldn't you somehow know how they show up? Like I could see it for some people making it a little less reliable. Like, well, how do you not know the biggest piece of information
Right.
about this movie? Like how do you know all this other stuff but not this?
Right.
But I'm gonna throw this out there. In this leak, he mentions specifically, I'm reading this from the leak. Peter goes to Doctor Strange and asks him to cast a spell to make everyone forget that he's Spider-Man. Something goes wrong with the spell and they break reality, bringing 5 villains from other dimensions into the MCU. Green Goblin, Dr. Octopus, Electro, Lizard, and Sandman. That is exactly what we saw in the trailer.
Yeah, that is.
Like beat for beat. That is exactly what we saw in the trailer. And this leak is
that's confirmation that his leaks are reliable.
Accurate. Yes.
Okay.
And this leak is from April. The trailer didn't come out until August.
Right.
So that's like the first thing right there that throws out there like this is an accurate leak, at least so far from what we've seen.
Right, but the trailer didn't show anything about 2 Spider-Men. So like or 3 Spider-Men in it. So
right, but I'm saying like just that section alone, how specific it is too, even diving into the specific villains that are shown in the trailer. We see everyone that they mentioned in that leak, we see all of them in the trailer. Some of them more than others, but just glimpses of them.
Okay,
And
so what's what are some other things that we have when talking about Andrew Garfield? He's denying ever being in this movie. Like he says, no, I have nothing to do with it. Your fans, you're gonna be disappointed if you keep thinking that I'm in this movie. You're gonna be let down. So what about that?
I think he's lying. Like,
Why
like
do you
a
think
lot.
he's lying? What evidence do you have that he's lying?
The evidence is all in the video itself, and it's all about body language. It's all about the way he reacts when you bring up Spider-Man. You know, because like, and you got to compare it to past interviews. I sent you. I don't know if you can bring it up because I know it gets laggy for you, but I sent you the interview, the new one where he talks about this. So, it's all about body language with it though, because you know, with past interviews, he would be talking. People would bring up Spider-Man, and he'd be like, "Well, yeah." He's like, it didn't work out. You know, he was like, I was really excited to do it. It just didn't end up working out. He's got no excitement about it. But in recent months, specifically, you bring up Spider-Man, that man is smiling ear to ear, like entirely, and he's laughing, and you can tell that he's got like way more excited bringing it up.
Yeah,
I
someone's
think-
got a little secret kind of thing.
Yeah, like it's body language. And I know you can't play audio here with this video, but
Right.
he mentions, or no, he doesn't mention this. He never actually says he's not in it. Like, that's the main thing. Everyone's saying, "Oh, he confirms that he's not in it." Like, he never came out and literally said, "I am not in the movie." He says things like, "I never got a call," which could be a huge play on words. Like, "Oh no, my agent got a call, but I didn't."
Right.
You know, like that
Fair.
could be a huge play on words. You know, and like just in the way he acts, you can see how excited he is talking about this. And the same thing happens with other interviews. Now, this is just the main interview. I didn't gather like all of the other interviews where he's talked about this because there's a lot, but he acts the same way in all of them. Like in recent months, he just gets super excited about it. And like,
All right. So his body language is your evidence for this. Okay.
that's some
What-
evidence. That this
okay,
is speculation. I have
right.
actual evidence though that I'm diving into now.
Ooh, okay.
Like,
Let's get into the good stuff.
Spicy.
I sent you this video.
Oh,
I know you
yeah.
downloaded one of them. I sent you two videos.
Okay.
One of them is audio and one of them is actual footage.
Oh.
And now, I don't know if you
That-
can bring it up.
Seth, I didn't know you sent me two.
I told you before we even started that I sent you two.
See, but this is
Okay,
all
hold
part.
on.
This is all part
no,
of the
no,
conspiracy.
keep-
This is good.
It's all part of it, man. You set me up for failure, buddy.
I didn't
no,
set you up for failure.
Okay, hey, Seth, talk amongst yourselves. I'm gonna get this video so we can all listen to it. Okay, so just keep
right.
talking.
All right. So, but there's a lot of stuff to go by here. Like this one I can talk about without bringing up a video. So, and this one is just more speculation, not actual confirmation of anything. There was a fan that met Tobey Maguire in Central Park, New York City, and he posted a picture of him with Tobey Maguire. So we know at least that part is true, that he met Tobey Maguire. And someone commented like, what did you ask him about No Way Home? And the guy says, yes, I did. And the other person is like, well, what did he say? Like, and the guy says he smiled and winked when asked about Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, the weird part is like, which is he lying about that? Like, that could easily be lied about, but like,
Of course.
but what would he have to gain from that? Because he did meet Tobey Maguire. There's a picture of him with Tobey Maguire, like this random fan.
Well, there's a
But-
lot of reasons why he would lie about that.
I think
that's-
us talking about it months after he met Tobey Maguire is a big reason. And that's why I'm kind of iffy on it, But I want to dive into all the
Okay.
evidence of everything.
Well, I have that video.
Do you?
Locked and loaded. It's
Yep.
locked and loaded
Okay,
when you're
this
ready.
this is our biggest evidence. All right, you can play it.
Hold on, let me get rid of that real quick.
And remember,
all
one
right.
of them is audio, and the other
No,
one.
I'm playing the video.
Okay, there's no audio with the video. Okay,
What the hell? Okay,
What?
then which one do you want me to play first?
the one without audio, just the
The one
video, the
without-
footage, the
okay.
one focused on Andrew
right.
Garfield. I know it looks like nothing,
Right.
but you look on the left there. That's Toby's hand. Like,
All right. Well,
and that-
let me take another look at it here.
okay,
Just remember when I bring this up, I think we get muted. So anything you say while the video is up, I'm not sure if people can hear you.
okay.
That does look like Tobey Maguire's
Yeah.
suit there
And
on the left-hand side.
the thing is I do not own a super high quality version of this video, but this video has been leaked in 8K footage.
Oh,
Like literal 8K. This video has been leaked out.
and you sent me the 720p.
That's the one I had.
I know. I'm just,
No. That makes it more cool though. That makes it a bit
Even-
more like
Even if I
behind the
had,
scenes.
even if I
Yeah.
could find the 8K video one, I wouldn't be able to save it in 8K, and Facebook definitely wouldn't let me send it in 8K.
Right.
So I think this is the best we're gonna get here.
All right, I'm gonna show it one more time.
All right.
Look to the left. You're gonna see a Spidey hand that looks an awful lot like Tobey Maguire's spider suit.
So
Perfect. Now, okay, well that's video. I mean, they could be. Hey, let's think here, Seth. Let's think logically. Okay, we have this video. So what does that mean? I mean, they could be saying anything. They could have showed up and said, "Dude, let's surprise Tom Holland on this set." Like even though we're not in the movie, it could be anything. What more evidence do we have that they're actually in the movie besides, well, physically seeing them on set? I'm really trying hard to.
Yeah, you're
debunk
trying
your-
hard
what
to
evidence do we
debunk
have
this.
other than the actual footage and then winking at the camera and saying,
Yeah,
Well,
it's people had
so-
theories on what he's saying. So nobody actually knows because there's no audio out there of this video. It's a silent video, but people are theorizing he's talking to Tobey Maguire and asking if he has web blood, which would be, that would be because the webs are organic with Tobey Maguire.
Right.
So people are thinking that he might be saying that. There's some other things people think he might be saying, but the biggest evidence here is the fact that this can't be deep faked. Like deep fakes are a very common thing nowadays. People will use them as pranks. Some people will use them just to show how impressive deep fakes can be. This can't be deep faked. And I'll explain why. Because it's a little harder to tell. Like if you brought it up on YouTube, you wouldn't be able to tell because how blurry it is. But like with the video I have on my phone, you can see kind of a reflection in the metal bars that he's holding on to.
Oh,
You can see like a reflection. Like
yeah, deep fake
this-
wouldn't have that.
yeah, like just a casual deep fake would not have that. His eyes are responding to the light, in which way he's moving or looking. Some people have even dove into this even more. You can see him breathing, like actually breathing. You can see him moving. Like it looks really still.
Okay,
But,
so it's not a deep fake.
Right.
He's got a reflection. All right. So what is there any like cherry on top of the cake here? That like is there something else that we can definitively say? Okay, we have video. What else do we have?
I want to talk about this video again, not again, but like for a few more seconds before we dive into the other one, because actual VFX artists who, for some reason, I did not write their channel name down. I should have absolutely done that. But some VFX artists who run their own YouTube channel dove into this video. They broke down this video, and again, throwing it out there again for anyone who doesn't fully understand, actual VFX artists broke down this
got it.
video and they explained how it's almost impossible to be fake. Now, they aren't throwing it out the window completely that like, oh, maybe this is like some set video from The Amazing Spider-Man 2, but like they do mention
Yeah.
he does look a little older in this video, and his hair is different than it was in The Amazing Spider-Man 2. And they dove into all of it about how it would take an insane amount of dedication and work and professionalism to be able to fake this. And
So not your average Joe could
right, not
leak
not
this.
some
Okay.
not some fan, like some random guy could make this. It would take like a professional who's a full-on professional. A professional. It would take a professional to make this video. And they dive into the things that I mentioned earlier about how you can see him breathing, you can see the reflections in his
Right. Okay.
eyes, and
So all right. So the professionals say that it can't be done with your basic stuff. So
right.
what else do we have here?
Well, we have that the other video I sent you, which is audio.
Okay.
And there's no footage here. Like the picture that is in this video is literally just the Andrew Garfield picture from the video. But all right, if you want to play the other one.
All right. This is potential audio of the Spideys talking to each other.
On my world, Octavius died. You both have web shooters.
Hold on, I want to play that again.
On my world, Octavius died. You both have web shooters.
You both have web shooters. Is that what he says?
Yep. He says,
what's that thing at the very beginning?
On my world, Octavius died.
What? I'm going to listen to that again.
On my world, Octavius died. You both have web shooters.
Interesting. Oh, okay. Now we're getting into the juicy.
So
yeah, this is your confirmation. They will be in the movie. Andrew Garfield's been trolling us. We've been fooled, but you heard it here first. Seth broke down the barrier and said, "No, I'm not falling for it. I know the truth, and I'm telling everybody."
These two videos are like the finale of breaking this down. Like you have to build up to these videos and then be like, "Oh, you still don't believe me? Here you go." Drop the videos on them.
But Seth, like, we kind of had an inkling that they're going to be in this movie. Why try to break down the wall now? Like, why are you wanting the people to know now? Out of all times, is there something about to happen that you think?
I think the reason I wanted this to not only be the first thing that we do, but the thing we do now is the next segment of this conspiracy corner thing is, when will the next trailer drop? And this trailer drop could be as soon as tomorrow morning.
What?
And there's a lot of evidence to back that up too. So we're moving away from the Toby and Andrew thing. Now, like, we'll kind of go back to it later, but our main focus now is the trailer drop date. So a few weeks ago, someone posted a picture from, which I could not find, by the way. I tried to find it. I couldn't find it. Someone posted a picture of the trailers that were going to play before Eternals. And, it had Ghostbusters, some other movies. And one of the things listed on there was untitled trailer. And it had the date for October 25th, 2021, which is tomorrow. And 3 minutes and 33 seconds long. I think it would make perfect sense for this movie to be released right before Eternals, so it could play when Eternals comes out, because the last trailer released right before Shang-Chi came out, and then it played before Shang-Chi, so you could keep up that pattern.
I swear to God, you're like, what's his name? Like, I don't know, like the gatekeeper dude. You're like, you're that guy. You're Morpheus in the Matrix. It's all I can think of.
Well, see, you're imagining Seth in this like fantastical sort of way. I'm over here imagining like him smoking cigarettes, looking at a whole bunch of papers pinned up on a wall. Like,
oh, nice.
No, but you see, I have a video with no audio, but I also have audio with no video, but they go together. You're like,
so the trailer could very well drop tomorrow, and that's not the only evidence to back up this trailer dropping tomorrow. There's some major evidence too.
All right,
and it directly involves the images that have been shown lately on Empire magazine, because for the past few days they've been releasing a couple photos. I think there's been just 2 photos from the movie itself, but they also had some art posted which confirms Sandman, like, officially. He was in the trailer, but we technically already knew about Sandman, but this is Sandman.
I love
it. And the main thing here is the fact that Empire magazine has done a few other MCU movies, 3 other MCU movies to be specific: Avengers Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Shang-Chi. And each time they did these movies, the second trailer specifically released a few days before the magazine did. This magazine releases on October 28th. So
wow.
that could further push the idea of it dropping tomorrow morning.
Do you know what? I reckon you'd give Agent Starling from Silence of the Lambs a run for her money for capturing Hannibal Lecter. Like, you've just gone.
There you go. There's one of the art pictures they posted. And now this art does not like, there's nothing hidden in this art that supports the trailer being this week. It's just some cool art. But just the fact that it was released supports it possibly being this week.
Right. Well, there is something new, like Mysterio.
Possibly Mysterio up there.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't show him in the trailer, nor has he been really talked about. Yeah, he did kind of blow the lid on, who Spidey is at the end of the last movie. But this is showing that he might come back for a return.
That's something that I was going to go back to a little bit with the with RPK's plot leak.
Mm-hmm.
It mentions those 5 villains. He specifies he does not know who the 6th one is. He says he doesn't know who it is. He doesn't know when that 6th villain shows up or how they show up. But
so there's a 6th villain.
There is a 6th villain. He doesn't know who it is.
It's obvious.
And
do we have who is it, Ramon?
Hello, Eddie.
You think it's Venom? I don't think it's Venom.
I don't think it's Venom either.
I think honestly,
well, but Lizard does show up in the trailer.
Lizard is in the trailer. He's one of the 5.
But I don't know if he is, because in the trailer, what they do is when you see Lizard, you see him kind of like, he does his claw at Peter Parker, but he's like, there's a barrier, like he couldn't get through. So like there could be a possibility that Lizard's only part in this movie was like you saw him, but he couldn't get through, so he just kind of disappears. Like I don't know if that's confirmation he's actually one of the villains.
Going based purely on the plot leak, he says that all 6 villains are in the final battle of this movie. He says specifically, let me read this. The final battle takes place on the Statue of Liberty with the 3 Spider-Men fighting the Sinister 6. And that's the finale of this movie. And then he says, to be clear, I have no idea who the 6th member is or when and how they show up on the scene.
So the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
This is when Wolverine shows up.
Wait a second.
It's going to be the end of X-Men.
Like we're kind of like going with ideas and stuff, and you've really got. I think it was before the stream I said today that I've grown to love Garfield as Spider-Man. I think it was before we went live, right?
Yeah.
And now you're speaking about it. The old romantic in me is just. It's not going to happen, but because like with theories and ideas, or whatever, I would really, really love, just because I'm an old sap, I would just love Andrew Garfield to be in it and to meet Gwen Stacy in this universe, just to have a moment. That's just me. Like, I know it's not going to happen. I'm just.
We don't have a Gwen Stacy in this universe yet.
That's what I'm saying. Like, just to have
that would be good.
Like with him to walk in, like obviously he would know she wouldn't know him from this universe, but to him to see her and just be like, like just to have a moment, I think that would be bloody
put his hand on Tom Holland's shoulder and says, "Take care of the ones you love," or something crazy like that.
Yeah, and just it don't even have to be a big thing. Like it could even be the back of her walking away, but just so people know that it's her. Just be like, "Oh, mate, what a moment!" Like, yeah, sorry, I'm. You just got me thinking. That's all.
I dig it.
We are not done with the name RPK yet, though. He still plays a major role in some evidence here, and because he's super reliable leaker, and this is also some evidence to support it not coming tomorrow or even this week, and because people were asking him like, when's the trailer coming? And he says, I don't know. He says, the last I heard was that it's not going to be for a long time. And everyone started freaking out. Like, well, does that mean it's delayed? Like, why are we not getting a trailer for this movie that comes out in a month and a half for a long time? And he said, no. He said, what I meant was the trailer is not coming for 2 to 3 more weeks. And then Empire Magazine revealed their date. People started questioning him again. And then he came back and he said, they might have changed it. He says last he heard was that it's not going to be for a while. But he's not completely putting off the fact they might have changed it to this week. So I don't know. I'm not going to come out and fully say yes, it's confirmed to come out this week, but I think it's likely.
But all evidence points to this week,
All
right?
evidence points to it
All
being
right.
this week.
That would be nice. If that
Is that it for your conspiracy corner stuff?
I have a little bit more, not super evidence. Like I've kind of gone over a lot of the major evidence, but I have some stuff I kind of want to say.
Okay.
And the reason I tied these two things together is the question I want to ask both of you. I'm going to end this off on a question. Do you think they will reveal Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the next trailer?
Yes.
You do?
At least one of them.
Depends.
What does it depend on?
If it's the last trailer that they're going to have. If it's the final trailer before the movie comes out, yes. If it's like trailer 2 or 3, no.
Shit.
Yes, I was going to dive into that earlier, but we kind of moved on. I kind of forgot about it. Some other leaks have pointed to evidence of it being Paul Giamatti.
Yeah, that could be.
Now, nothing like super like huge evidence like all this stuff. So that's still very much a rumor, but there have been supposed leaks of it being Rhino. And I have a theory on why that makes perfect sense.
That's the one I want to root for.
I think that makes perfect sense.
Just for you, Seth. Just for you. Because you got robbed at the end of Spider-Man 2.
Please.
All he wanted to see was the fight between Rhino and Spider-Man.
Oh, and it didn't happen. I know. Yeah, I know.
Before we saw that movie.
Yeah, but
Spider-Man, you're back.
I have more just
Spider-Man,
you can't forget me.
I am the Rhino. There's some evidence here, though, or not evidence, but I just have a theory on why it could very much be Rhino. Why I think it even is Rhino is because this movie, you know, people are saying like, oh, this is a Tom Holland movie. And though they're right, they're also very wrong. This movie is definitely not a celebration of the last 5 years of MCU Spider-Man. This is a celebration of the last 20 years of Spider-Man, especially if Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it. And I'm telling you, when they show up, they're going to take over, I think. I think the focus, at least for the most part, will move to Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. You know, like we'll see them all together, but they want to give us as much time with these two as possible. And so I think they might sideline Tom Holland a little bit. And I'll explain why I think it's Rhino. So we know we're getting a Sinister Six. We know 5 of the villains. 3 of them are Sam Raimi villains, being Sandman, Doc Ock, and Green Goblin. 2 of them are the Amazing Spider-Man villains, being Lizard and Electro. So who's that 3rd one? Now, or 6th one, why would we get 3 Raimi villains, 2 the Amazing Spider-Man villains, and 1 Tom Holland villain if it was Mysterio or Vulture or someone like that? Like, why would that be the case, you know? Like, wouldn't you want to have 3 Tobey Maguire villains and 3 Andrew Garfield villains?
No.
And then save the other Tom Holland villains for the MCU Sinister Six. And not this multiversal Sinister Six that they're doing, because this is probably just going to be a 1 movie thing. Like the Sinister Six specifically is going to be a 1 movie thing, but they'll probably down the line do an actual MCU Sinister Six, which will have characters like Mysterio, Vulture, maybe Shocker, and maybe, you know, whoever else they might introduce. You know, maybe an MCU Dr. Octopus or Green Goblin.
They already killed off the Shocker.
One of them.
Yeah.
Remember, there's 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because they killed the one and immediately gave the
glove or whatever
to the other guy.
If they're back for a one-off kind of thing, I would love either Andrew or Tobey to go out with a bang and like one of them like to die at the end of it in order to stop or save or whatever, that, you know, to the end of the movie, like the big battle, whatever it is. It would be epic. That's just me. I think it would be epic to have one of them go out in a blaze of glory. If they're only ever going to be in one more movie, do you know what I'm saying? Like, and the other one goes back to their time or whatever. But it would be amazing just to have one of them like have to do something in order to save everyone. And it's like, no, I'll do it, and that would it would be tragic, but it would be like, oh wow, what a send off.
You see, I don't think that they're going to go back to their own timeline in this movie. This movie's called No Way Home for a reason. I think this is going to be a part 1 of a 2-parter.
Ooh.
That's my personal opinion.
I'll tell you what part 2 is. It's Doctor Strange 2. That's what part 2 of this is. This
Okay.
this movie will lead directly into Doctor Strange, and
Nice.
I think I'm
I-
willing to bet that Tobey Maguire at least will be in Doctor Strange too.
Yeah.
Probably for like a quick, maybe 10-minute cameo.
I don't see that.
but-
Like I see them showing up at the very end, like maybe like the last 20 minutes of this movie, and then being all in for the next movie. Like that's how I perceive this going.
Some
I'm allowed to
okay,
have my own conspiracy
I know
theories.
you are. I know you are. I'm saying I'm gonna go over this plot a little bit. The plot mentions that Peter's life is ruined after his identity was revealed by Mysterio at the end of the last movie. We know that.
Are you about to go into spoiler territory?
I've already gone into spoiler
I
territory. I'm not going to read this whole plot.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to read some key details. So if you want to put up like a spoiler warning
I got
again,
it. It's up in the corner.
okay. So yes,
there, by
we'll be
Ramon.
diving into potential spoilers here, any and all spoilers.
All right, but
And-
let's I'm sorry, buddy, but let's also try to keep this quick. I just saw the time, and I do have to leave here soon.
All right,
So,
all right. Some of the plot leaks mention that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield show up at the beginning of the second act of this movie. So the first act would focus on, Peter Parker going in trial. Lawyer, by the way, you know the lawyer.
we think we know the lawyer.
That's part of the plot leak that
Oh.
RPK leaked out. It directly mentions that it is Matt Murdock and it is played by Charlie Cox.
Dude, they are just telling these people lie to everybody. Because the actor that plays Murdoch, I just saw something where he's like, he's like was naysaying like, no, if they put me in the MCU, it might ruin the integrity of my character. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do another segment someday diving into the evidence supporting him specifically, but there's a lot there too, kind of like the Andrew Garfield interview stuff.
All right.
But all I'm saying is that the movie the leak does mention that they show up at the beginning of the second act and they are there until the end of the movie. They aren't minor cameos. They are main characters.
All right.
That's all I have. That kind of wraps up everything. We could talk about this all day, but like,
All right.
I've kind of
of
touched all the major things.
everybody, you heard it here. Maybe not first, maybe not second, but you definitely heard it here. The trailer might drop this week. Seth has exposed Hollywood for what they are, the liars, them trying to cheat everybody into knowing what's actually going to happen. Andrew Garfield, he's playing into their ploy, and Seth just blew the lid off everything. Seth, congratulations on your first Conspiracy Corner.
Very
Thank
good,
you.
my man. Very, very good.
Thank you.
All right. With that being said, we are running a little later than I expected. So are you guys cool if we go ahead and cut this short? Because I got to get to my other gig here.
Yeah.
All right. So I want to say thank you for everybody. Ramon from Hit or Miss TV, Seth Draven from here. You can follow Ramon on his channel. All the links for him are in the description of this video down below. Next week, we haven't decided what we're going to do, but I think we're going to do a little special Halloween thing. More to be announced on that one. So hopefully you can join us then. Oh, I see a comment here. Oh, Aaron White showing his love for you, Seth.
Thank you, Aaron White.
But with that being said, I want to say thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and stay trigger happy, my friends. Peace.
Peace.